So we have a right triangle this time. We have some numbers and it's asking us to solve the triangle. So that's how we label the triangle. Triangle ABC, that's how we say triangle ABC. And when we say solve it, we mean find all missing angles and sides. So you can abbreviate. Whenever you want to say angle, instead of writing out the word, just put a little angle symbol. Whenever you want to say triangle, just put a little triangle symbol. First thing I want to show you is how do we label a triangle? Well, whenever you label the vertices, you use capital letters. Capital A, capital B, capital C. Vertices are corners, remember? That's how you label corners. How do we label the sides? Well, you can call this side BC, you can call this side AC, and you can call this side AB. But when we're doing trigonometry and we're using triangles, we use lowercase letters. So the side A is always opposite the angle A. That's going to be side A. Angle B, so this is going to be side B. Angle C, this is going to be side C. So C equals 8, we already know that. And angle A is 57. Now remember in geometry you used to say the measure of angle A is 57 degrees. We kind of drop that now. We don't bother with this business. We just say A equals 57 degrees, okay? Geometry is a bit strict like that. So we're just going to say angle A is 57 degrees. Now we're going to use our SOH-CAH-TOA skills to figure all this out. First thing we can do, we've got an angle and we have a side. So we're going to find either A or B. I'm just going to go randomly. Let's go in alphabetical order. Let's find side A. Sorry, I think I said angle. Side A. So I've got an angle, I've got an opposite, and I've got an adjacent angle involved, but I don't know the hypotenuse. So you want to come up with an equation where you only have one unknown. So I'm going to go tan 57 degrees. And SOH-CAH-TOA, SOH-CAH-TOA, TOA, right? Tan is opposite over adjacent. So here's my angle theta. Theta, opposite is A, and my adjacent angle is 8. And we have to solve this equation now. So we just want to get A alone. So multiply by 8, multiply by 8. The 8's will cancel out. And we are left with 8 times tan 57 degrees equals A. And I'm just going to flip it around. A equals, and we usually drop this multiplication sign, 8 tan 57 degrees. And now you go to your GDC and you do that. A equals, so you do 8 times tan, and then you type in 57, close brackets, equals. Now you've got to make sure that your calculator is in, you go to mode, and you're going to have two modes here. You've got degree mode and you've got radian mode. And we're going to get into radians a bit later, but what we want is degree mode. So try it once, and the correct answer is, and if you get this wrong, it probably means you're in the wrong mode. Make sure your calculator's in degree mode. The answer for A is 12.32. Okay. And the question says, answer to the nearest hundredth where necessary. So that obviously means 2 decimal places, 12.32. So if you look at that, A, this length here is longer than 8, isn't it? So that looks pretty reasonable. So we found A. Let's move on and find B. So I might just write that up here. We now know what this is. This is 12.32. Let's now go on and figure out what B is. So you've got a couple of options here. You could even use Pythagoras' theorem if you like. 8 squared plus 12.32 squared equals B squared. You can do that. But we want to practice our trigonometry skills because that's what we're here for. I might stick with this value because it's a nice round number. So I've got my angle again, and I've also got adjacent. And now the hypotenuse is also involved. So what's the adjacent and hypotenuse one? Adjacent and hypotenuse was cosine, SOH-CAH-TOA. So now I'm going to do cos 57 degrees. Equals what over what? Cos 57 is adjacent, 8, over hypotenuse B, which is unknown. Okay, so now we're going to figure out what B is. So I want to get B alone. How do I do that? I'm going to multiply both sides by B to start with. So B cancels out, and we get B cos 57 degrees equals 8. Now how do I get B alone? I'm going to divide both sides by cos 57 degrees And watch this. Now the cosines cancel out, because remember that's b times, and I'm left with b equals 8 over cos 57 degrees. Now looking at that, b, I think it's going to be longer than a, so b should be even bigger than 12.32. So on your calculator you do 8 divided by cos 57 close brackets equals, and that should give you 14.69 rounded to the nearest hundredth. How did you go with that? Check that. So we now know b, 14.69. And we're getting pretty close. Is there anything else in this triangle that we don't know? What else do we know? B, that's 90 degrees. We know that. All we really need now is just angle C. What's that? And to get that, we can use our angle sum of a triangle. So that's geometry coming back again. All the interior angles of a triangle, right triangle or not, are always going to add up to 180. So let's do that. We've got 57 degrees plus 90 degrees plus C equals 180. 57 plus 90, that is 147 plus C equals 180. C is going to be 180 minus 147. What's that? 180. 33 degrees. Okay, and that is all the unknown sides and angles for that question, which means that the triangle has been solved at everything here, 33 degrees. So you can check that. That plus that equals 90, plus another 90 gives 180. One more thing I wanted to show you. What if, just about the theta, and what if we're not using theta, we're using the other angle? What's another way I could have found B? Let's pretend let's pretend I didn't know what that was, and I have this angle instead, 33 degrees. And I didn't know what B was. How could I find B? So 8 is not the adjacent anymore. I've got the angle 33 and I've got the opposite, and I don't know the hypotenuse this time. So I could have done sine 33 equals opposite 8 over hypotenuse B, which we don't know. We're pretending we don't know. Okay, so SOH. Remember, sine is opposite of hypotenuse. How do I find B? Multiply both sides by B. Cancel as before. B sine 33 equals 8. B equals, divide both sides by sine 33. Okay, so over here we had B equals 8 over cos 57. Now we have B is 8 over sine 33. And if you did that, like magic, you should get this same answer still, 14.69 rounded. Just give that a try and see if that works. I'm sure it does.